Hello friends, welcome to Srivali's kitchen. Now I'm going to show you a very simple rice payasam recipe. Rice payasam or rice kheer is a very simple sweet which we can use as a prasad to offer not just during the Navratri season but for every festival. We can either use cooked rice or we can use raw rice grains, which will take more time, but using cooked rice is easier. All we need is some milk, cooked rice, grated jaggery, some ghee, cashews and kismis. If you want, you can add almonds also. I'm just going to heat the milk. I've already boiled it once before. I'm going to just let it come to a boil again, and then I'm going to add already cooked rice to this and mix it. I'm going to let it cook for 5 to 10 minutes so that the rice soaks up all this milk and we get a nice consistency. Then I'm going to turn off the heat, let it cool for another 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add jaggery. The reason I'm doing that is because I don't want the milk to split. Milk splits very easily, so I'm going to be careful about adding jaggery. Right? We're just going to let this come to a boil. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roast the nuts. We don't need much of a ghee for this recipe. Just little, enough to roast the nuts. Traditionally, we use cow's milk if we are going to make it for prasad, and we also use cow ghee for it. Just going to roast this. I washed my kismis, so I'm going to add it later on. I've seen that some dirt tends to stick in the wrinkles of the kismis. A little more. Even the spice powder, the crushed cardamom or cinnamon, I'm going to add it after I turn off the heat and bring it down. I'm not going to do anything that is going to risk in splitting the milk. Just going to give this a mix. Yeah, it's almost starting to brown. If you want, you can turn it off in golden shade. I like it a little brown. So I'm going to let it roast for another half a minute. The rice need not be cold. You can add directly hot rice as well. Just mix it nice and proper so that there are no lumps in it. And keep the heat always in simmer. Though it might take some 2 or 3 minutes extra for you, it will prevent from getting the payasam burnt. We call this annam parvanam in Telugu. Right, this is starting to shade nicely. I'm going to add the kismis. Like I said, I've just washed the kismis so that it starts flattering. Yeah. Mix it up. Yes. I'm going to turn off the heat now because there is enough heat to cook this completely. Roast this completely. Sorry for the sound. Okay. The rice is almost coming to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn off the heat and add the cooked rice. Sorry, the milk is coming to a boil. I'm going to turn off the heat and add the rice. You can see that it's come to a boil. Now I'm going to turn off the heat here. Stir it once and then add the cooked rice to this. That is to prevent the rice from spilling over, rice and the milk from spilling over. I'm not going to add the entire rice at once. I'm just going to add some, mix it, see if I need to add more. Yes, this will take more because it's already cooked. So I'm going to add the remaining. Now I'm going to turn off the heat. Keep it in simmer at all times. Yes. You can cook this in a non-stick pan or a heavy bottomed pan. Preferably use a heavy bottomed pan. Non-stick also will be good if you're preparing in larger quantities. I'm just removing the lumps. Right. But if you're using rice grains, like if you're adding raw rice grains, you have to add very little because they take a lot of time to cook. And the quantity of rice grains to milk is almost a very laughable ratio. If you are taking, say, a quarter liter of milk, you will probably add around 1 or 1.5 tablespoons of rice. That's it. And then we let that cook. That will take about half an hour to cook completely. Because especially if you are making it for prasad, to offer to God or goddess, we are not supposed to dilute it by adding water. So it has to cook completely in milk. But if you're just making it for the guest, you can add water, no issues. Right, we're just going to let this cook, let this all come together. Just remove all the lumps. You can see the quantity. See it? Yes. I'm going to let this become a thick mixture like thing, because when we add jaggery, it's gonna melt a little and increase in quantity, so it will become a little runnier, not much. But if you like the payasam to be little runny, add lesser amount of rice. Generally, rice payasam tends to be thick. Now, unlike the vermicelli payasam or the sabudana payasam, this will be thick. Okay, I'm just going to let this boil, and then I'm going to show once it starts to thicken up. See, it's starting to bubble. This is when we have to be careful because it will very easily start sticking to the bottom of the dish. So we have to keep continuously stirring this. Lucky that it won't take much time. Just keep stirring it. And I'm going to show it to another 2 minutes. You'll see the difference. You can see the steam coming out of it also. Right. See, it is boiling away furiously. And you can see it is already thickened up a bit. But still, if you want it runny, like I said, you can turn off the heat at this stage. But I like it nice and thick. So I'm going to let it cook for another 2 minutes. And then I'm going to turn off the heat, let it sit for 5 minutes. Keep stirring it in between so that it releases the steam and vapor. Then I'm going to add some cinnamon powder. I have cinnamon powder ready, so I'm going to add cinnamon powder. You can add cardamom, nutmeg, mace, cinnamon, clove, personal choice. Why always stick to one flavor? Try variants. Then I'm going to add jaggery, grated jaggery, or you can use jaggery powder as well. Give it a nice mix. Don't wait till the rice is completely cooled down because it will take a lot of time for the jaggery to melt. You just don't want this to be this hot, that's all. Okay. Yeah. You can see how it's working. Furious. Now is the time to turn off the heat. I let some liquid remain in this. Now I'm going to bring it down, let it cool down, and then we add the rest. Right, you can see It's cooled down a little. There is some steam still coming out of it, and the mixture is also considerably thickened up. Now I'm just going to give this a nice stir so that even more steam goes out. Now I'm going to add the cinnamon powder. When adding cinnamon, nutmeg, clove or mace powder, add very little quantities because these are very strong flavors. Let's mix it up. Yes. Now I'm going to add the grated jaggery also. Don't want to add all at once. The color of your rice payasam will basically depend on the color of the jaggery. So if the jaggery is dark, the rice payasam is going to end up being in a dark brownish color. That's okay. It happens. I think this will also have to go in. I'm just going to add it completely. Mix it up. You see the mixture is hot, so the jaggery is melting very easily. All I need to do is keep stirring this. And my jaggery is kind of on a pale brown color, so the payasam is also not that dark. You can see the quantity, it's also increased. Yes, almost done. Now it is the time to add our roasted nuts along with the ghee. So I'm just going to take this and put this into it. Just to clean out the ghee that is sticking to the walls of this. That's where all the flavor is. Just like how we do with sauces, you know. Take it off. Keep the spoon aside. One spoon is going to be enough to mix it up. You can either serve this hot or you can serve it cold. Just let it come to room temperature, put it into the refrigerator for half an hour or 1 hour and serve it cold. And the thing about this is, you know, this tastes good even in room temperature. So you can serve it in just about any heat. Hot, cold, room temperature, anything will do. That's the best. So I'm just going to add it to this. And let's see if we can add top with few nuts. Yeah, right. Ta-da! See? Yeah, we're done. So, rice payasam ready to eat or serve. Thank you for watching, and if you like my videos, subscribe to Srivali's Kitchen. Have a nice day.